What if I told you that the reason you can't meditate has nothing to do with your mind being too busy or you being bad at it? What if the entire meditation industry has been selling you a lie so fundamental that it's actually making your spiritual journey harder, not easier? And by the end of this video, you'll understand why 95% of people who try meditation quit within the first month. The answer will shock you, and it's not what you think. And more importantly, how to be part of the 5% who crack the code. I'm about to reveal something that meditation teachers don't want you to discover. A secret that's been hidden in plain sight for thousands of years. But first, let me ask you something that might make you uncomfortable. Have you ever wondered why ancient monks took decades to achieve what meditation apps promise you in 10 minutes? Here's what they don't tell you when you download that meditation app. The entire modern meditation industry is built on a fundamental misunderstanding of what meditation actually is. We've been sold a product that's about as authentic as a $3 bill. That's not meditation, that's marketing. And it's designed to make you feel like a failure when you can't achieve it. You're actually succeeding at something the meditation industry desperately doesn't want you to understand. You know that image of the perfectly serene person sitting cross-legged, probably floating slightly above the ground with a beatific smile? But here's the first clue to the secret I am going to reveal. Every time you sit down to meditate and your mind goes crazy, you're not failing. Stay with me, because what I am about to show you will flip everything you thought you knew about spiritual awareness upside down. The truth is, your monkey mind isn't the problem, it's the solution. And the meditation industry has been profiting from your confusion about this for decades. Buddhist monks have been keeping a secret for over 2,500 years, and it's not what you think. They called it monkey mind, but they weren't describing a problem to be solved. They were describing the very mechanism that leads to enlightenment. Picture this. You sit down with the best intentions, ready to achieve inner peace. Within seconds, your brain turns into a chaotic circus. You're thinking about groceries, replaying conversations from 1997, wondering if you left the stove on, and then you judge yourself for being bad at meditation. But here's what no one tells you, and this is crucial to understanding the secret I'm building toward. That moment when you notice your mind has wandered, that's not failure. That's the exact moment of awakening that ancient masters spent years trying to achieve. But what if I told you it's actually the sign you're doing it right? What if the very thing you're trying to stop is the thing that will set you free? The meditation industry has convinced you that noticing your wandering mind is a sign you're doing it wrong. Keep watching, because I'm about to show you how this realization unlocks something that will change your entire relationship with meditation forever. We've been programmed to treat meditation like it's another optimization project. Download the app, get the streak, level up your consciousness. If you actually achieved lasting peace and awareness, you'd stop buying apps, courses, and retreats. So they've created a system where you always feel like you're not quite there yet. Always need the next technique, the next teacher, the next breakthrough. But here's what the wellness industry doesn't want you to know. This approach is specifically designed to keep you dependent on their products. And I'm about to show you why this matters more than you could possibly imagine. Think about it. I've watched people spend thousands of dollars chasing the perfect meditation experience while missing the profound awakening that's available in their imperfect, distracted, completely ordinary human experience. But here's a clue to the secret that's coming. The moment you stop trying to be perfect at meditation is the moment you discover what meditation actually is. And it's not what anyone told you. The perfectionism trap isn't just counterproductive. It's the opposite of spiritual awareness. We live in a world of 30-minute pizza delivery and next-day shipping. So naturally, we expect enlightenment to work the same way. Download app, achieve nirvana, move on with life. They're talking about something completely different, something that modern meditation culture has completely missed. But here's what the meditation industry will never tell you. This expectation is exactly what's keeping you from the breakthrough you're seeking. It's about discovering that you've been looking for something you already have, but you can't see it because you're looking in the wrong direction. When spiritual traditions talk about practice, they're not talking about repetition until you get it right. The instant gratification approach isn't just ineffective, it's actually blocking your access to the very thing you're looking for. And the reason why it reveals something profound about the nature of consciousness itself. Here's what I'm building toward. The secret isn't about practicing until you get good at meditation. Stay with me, because this realization is the key to everything I'm about to reveal. Social media has turned spirituality into a performance, and it's probably the most insidious obstacle to real awareness ever created. We're comparing our chaotic inner experience to someone else's curated morning routine, and it's destroying our connection to authentic spiritual awareness. They've created a whole economy around spiritual inadequacy, where you always need the next course, the next retreat, the next level of awakening. But here's what's really disturbing. The meditation industry is profiting from this comparison game. The spiritual breakthrough that happened while they were stuck in traffic. The moment of profound peace they felt while cleaning the bathroom. What nobody posts on Instagram. Their meditation session where they spent 20 minutes obsessing about their ex. It's not about having the right setup or the perfect practice. It is about something so simple and so radical that it's been hiding in plain sight your entire life. This brings me closer to the secret I'm revealing. Real spiritual awareness isn't aesthetic. There's something called spiritual bypassing, and it's when people use meditation to avoid dealing with their actual human problems. All love and light, but can't handle criticism. Talking about transcending ego while being incredibly judgmental. Seeking enlightenment while their relationships are falling apart. But here's what's shocking. The meditation industry actively encouraged this bypassing because it keeps you coming back. If you actually integrated spiritual awareness into your messy, complicated human life, you wouldn't need the products anymore. The secret I'm building toward involves understanding that you can't meditate your way out of being human. But there's something even more profound. You don't need to escape your humanity to be spiritual. In fact, trying to escape it is what's blocking your awakening. This is where everything starts to click into place. If there's one thing modern humans excel at, it's overthinking. We've turned thinking into an extreme sport. We think about thinking. And when we bring this to meditation, we think we're doing it wrong. But here's the secret that's been hidden in plain sight. Your overthinking mind isn't the obstacle to spiritual awareness. It's the gateway. The observer is the awareness in which thoughts arise. And this awareness is what you've been looking for all along. Every spiritual tradition talks about the importance of observing your thoughts, but nobody explains what this actually means. They make it sound like you're supposed to watch your thoughts like a movie, calmly and detached. But that's not what observation actually is. The real secret, and this is the heart of what I'm revealing, is that the observer isn't separate from the thoughts. This changes everything. Keep watching to see how. Here's something nobody warns you about meditation. It's going to bring up emotions, all of them. The good ones, the bad ones, and the ones you've been avoiding since childhood. And the meditation industry treats this like a side effect to be managed. But what if I told you that these emotions aren't obstacles to awakening? What if they're actually doorways to the deepest spiritual awareness possible? Real spiritual awareness includes the full range of human experience, and emotions are how we access the deeper layers of consciousness. You need to be present to whatever you're experiencing, even if what you're experiencing is complete chaos. We've been taught that spirituality means being peaceful and calm all the time. But that's not spirituality, that's emotional suppression. This is getting closer to the secret. You don't need to be calm to be spiritually aware. We've turned spirituality into another form of shopping. Crystals, cushions, apps, courses. We think if we accumulate enough spiritual stuff, we'll achieve enlightenment. But here's what the industry doesn't want you to know. This is specifically designed to keep you seeking instead of finding. The things that actually create spiritual awareness are free. Breath, attention, presence, compassion. Everything else is just stuff. But the industry has convinced you that you need their stuff to access your own awareness. This brings me to a crucial part of the secret. The very thing you're seeking is already present. You don't need to acquire it, develop it, or achieve it. You need to recognize it. And you can't recognize it when you're constantly looking for it somewhere else. I don't have time to meditate, the most common excuse, and also most revealing. Because what you're really saying is, I don't have time to be present in my own life. But here's what the meditation industry has convinced you, that spiritual awareness requires special time, special circumstances, special conditions. This is completely backwards. Spiritual awareness isn't something you do for 20 minutes and then put away. It's not a practice you add to your life. It's a recognition of what's already here in this moment, whatever you're doing. This is crucial to understanding the secret. You don't need more time to be spiritually aware. You need more awareness of the time you already have. Spirituality can feel isolating, especially when you're surrounded by people who think you've joined a cult. But here's what's beautiful. Everyone has moments of transcendence, presence, and connection. But this is just another form of separation. The cashier who genuinely smiles at you, the friend who really listens, the stranger who helps without being asked. The meditation industry has created this idea that spiritual people are supposed to be different, special, more evolved. Here's part of the secret. Spiritual awareness isn't about becoming someone else. It's about recognizing the awareness that's already here, in you, in everyone, in every moment. You don't need to join a special club or achieve a special state. You just need to notice what's already present. Here's the ultimate cosmic joke. The harder you try to meditate, the more elusive it becomes. The more you chase spiritual experiences, the farther away they seem. But what if I told you that the very effort to achieve spiritual awareness is what's blocking it? This isn't because you're doing it wrong, it's because you're looking in the wrong direction. You're not trying to become aware. You're already aware. You're just not aware that you're aware. We approach meditation like it's a problem to solve, a goal to achieve, a state to attain. This is the heart of the secret I'm revealing. You can't try your way to spiritual awareness because spiritual awareness is what you already are. Even when people have moments of clarity during meditation, they struggle to bring that awareness into daily life. It's always there, you can't escape it because it's you. They zen on the cushion, the road rage in traffic. They think this means they're failing at integration. But here's what nobody tells you. There's no separation between meditation awareness and daily life awareness. That's just another story the mind tells to keep you seeking. The secret is that awareness isn't something you have sometimes and lose other times. We're always looking for the perfect teacher, the one who will finally show us the way. But here's what the spiritual industry doesn't want you to know. Looking for a teacher outside yourself is what keeps you from recognizing the teacher you already are. The best teachers point you back to your own inner wisdom. They don't create dependency, they reveal independence. They don't give you answers. They show you that you already know. You don't need to be taught what you already are. This is crucial to the secret. You don't need someone else to validate your spiritual experience. You don't need permission to be awake. So, what's the secret the meditation industry doesn't want you to know? It's this. You are already what you're seeking. The peace you're seeking is the peace in which all your chaos arises. You don't need to achieve spiritual awareness because spiritual awareness is what you are. You don't need to get better at meditation because meditation is simply the recognition of what's already present. The spiritual awakening you're chasing is the awakening that's already here, recognizing itself through your search. The awareness you're trying to achieve through meditation is the awareness that's aware of your difficulty with meditation. You don't need to become enlightened because enlightenment is your natural state. The entire meditation industry is built on the assumption that you're not already awake. But what if you are? What if you've always been awake and you just didn't know it? Here's what changes everything. You don't need to fix your wandering mind, because the awareness that notices the wandering is already perfect. You don't need to stop your thoughts because the awareness in which thoughts arise is already still. You don't need to become spiritual because the awareness that desires spirituality is already sacred. This is why 95% of people quit meditation. They're trying to achieve something they already are. They're trying to become something they've never stopped being. They're trying to find something they've never lost. The 5% who succeed at meditation aren't the ones who get better at controlling their minds. They're the ones who recognize that they were never the mind to begin with. They're the ones who realize that the seeker and the sought are the same awareness. The reason you can't meditate isn't because you're doing it wrong. It's because you're doing it perfectly. Every moment of distraction, every wandering thought, every time you fail at meditation, these are all appearances in the awareness that you are. You don't need to improve your meditation. You need to recognize the awareness that's already here, perfectly present, watching your so-called bad meditation with complete acceptance. The meditation industry wants you to believe you need their products to achieve something you don't have. But the truth is, you already are what you're seeking. You've always been what you're seeking. You never stop being what you're seeking. And that, my friend, is the secret they don't want you to know. So, what do you do with this realization? Nothing and everything. You continue to sit, not to achieve anything, but to recognize what's already here. You continue to breathe, not to become peaceful, but to notice the peace in which breath arises. You stop trying to be good at meditation and start being present to whatever meditation brings. You stop seeking spiritual experiences and start recognizing the spirituality of ordinary experience. You realize that you've never been broken, you've never been unspiritual, you've never been doing it wrong. You've always been the awareness you're seeking, you've always been awake, you just forgot to notice. And now that you know the secret, you can stop searching and start recognizing. You can stop trying to become and start being. You can stop seeking yourself and start being yourself. The meditation industry doesn't want you to know this because if you did, you'd realize you don't need them. You'd realize you never needed them. You realize you already have everything you've been looking for.